Millie Calloway is officially at rock bottom. No job, no friends, living in her car, not in the fun van life influencer way, but in the this diner just fired me and it's 38 degrees out way. She just got fired from her waitress gig, wrongly, of course, but try telling that to the screaming manager with marinara on his tie. So when a live-in maid job opens up at a massive mansion in Long Island, she shows up like it's her last shot. Because it is. She shoves on her one clean shirt, slaps on some fake glasses to look non-threatening, and walks in like she's got her life together. Enter Nina Winchester, elegant, icy, wears all white like she's allergic to colors and warmth. She's rich in that quietly terrifying way. The kind of woman who could ruin your life with a compliment. Millie tries not to gawk as Nina gives her the grand tour. The house is next level luxury. Chandeliers, spotless marble, the whole "this costs more than your childhood" vibe. But when they reach the top floor, Nina opens a narrow door that leads to a steep stairway. Your room would be up there. Up there is the attic, and the attic is concerning. A tiny cot, a mini fridge with 3 sad water bottles, a window painted shut, scratches on the inside of the door, and, yep, a lock on the outside. Nina laughs it off. "This used to be a closet," she says breezily. "You'd have privacy." Sure, privacy, from the inside of a locked box. On the way out, Millie tries to stay optimistic. Maybe it's not that bad. Maybe this is what rich people think is normal. But as she's leaving the property, she passes the landscaper, a serious-looking man in worn boots. He looks her dead in the eye, shakes his head, and mutters one word, pericolo, Italian for danger. Cool. Definitely not foreboding. Millie blinks. Before she can ask what he means, he walks away. A week passes, no word. She tries not to get her hopes up. Then her phone rings. Nina Winchester, cheerful. "We'd love to have you. Can you move in tomorrow?" Millie says yes. Of course she says yes. She has no clue what she's walking into. Millie shows up the next day with everything she owns stuffed into a duffel bag and a plastic tote. The gate's locked. She's standing in the cold, wondering if this is some kind of test, when the landscaper, same guy from before, opens it. He still doesn't smile. Just grabs her bags, mutters something in Italian, and walks off. Millie catches one word, pericolo. Still danger, still not comforting. Inside, Nina greets her like nothing's weird. The house, the one that looked like an interior design showroom during the interview, is now a disaster zone. Dishes in the sink, toys everywhere, like someone hired a toddler to redecorate. Nina hands her a brand new iPhone. "So we can stay in touch," she says, smiling just a little too wide. Millie nods. She doesn't ask questions. She needs this job. Then she meets Andrew Winchester, Nina's husband. And yeah, it's obvious immediately. This man is a problem, tall, handsome, polished, and way too friendly. Nina watches him greet Millie with a strange tightness in her jaw, like she's calculating something. Then comes the daughter, Cecilia, 9 years old, blonde, lace dress, looks like a Victorian ghost child and acts like she owns the place. She demands a snack, throws a tantrum over peanut butter, and nearly gives Millie a heart attack screaming about allergies. Nina storms in and scolds Millie for nearly killing her child, despite the peanut butter being prominently displayed in the pantry. Cool, very fair. That night, Andrew compliments Millie's cooking and invites her to join them for dinner. She declines. Nina's smile is a little too sharp to be real. It becomes a pattern. Nina blames Millie for things she didn't do, missing PTA notes, spilled wine, invisible messes. Andrew keeps defending her, and each time Nina's mood swings grow nastier. One day, Nina hands Millie a bag of white dresses. "They don't fit me anymore," she says sweetly. "You might as well have them." Millie doesn't know what to say, so she thanks her. She's still wearing one of them when she hears the other moms gossiping at a party. Nina's crazy. She was hospitalized. She once tried to drown Cecilia. Millie brushes it off until she snoops in the bathroom and finds the antipsychotics. One of them is used to treat schizophrenia. Then the fertility appointment happens. Nina comes home shattered. That night, Millie overhears her screaming at Andrew, "You'd be happier with someone younger." Millie pretends not to hear. But that seed planted. By this point, Millie's developed a sixth sense for when Nina is about to go nuclear, a little tension in her jaw, the way her voice goes sugar sweet before the scream. After the fertility appointment, it's like someone shook a soda can and handed it to Millie with no warning. Nina's devastated. Andrew is walking on eggshells. Millie is hiding in the pantry like a cockroach. So when Andrew asks her to plan a cheer-up night, Broadway tickets, a nice dinner, a hotel suite at the plaza, she nods like a good little maid and pretends she's not wondering why this job keeps turning into unpaid emotional labor. The night before the show, Nina casually drops the bomb. "Oh, you booked it for this Sunday?" Yes, she did. That's what Nina said. "Well, I can't go. I'm taking Cecilia to summer camp. But don't worry, I'll just take it out of your paycheck." Millie blinks, internally screams, externally nods politely like she's in a hostage video. Later, Andrew knocks on her attic door like a suave war criminal. "Go enjoy the night," he says. "Don't let it go to waste." She says she has no one to go with. He smiles. "Then I'll go with you." "No, girl, don't do it." But she goes. The show is magical. The dinner, expensive enough to induce guilt. They drink too much, laugh too easily, and when he books one room instead of two, she doesn't argue eventually. It happens. It's reckless and messy and wrong. But so is Millie's entire life. The next morning, they return home like two teenagers trying not to smell like too expensive wine. She gets home and does what she's supposed to do, cooks dinner for Nina and Andrew like nothing ever happened. Still floating on post-Andrew energy, she walks into the kitchen with a tray, and Nina doesn't even look up from her food. Chewing slowly, she asks, "So, what kind of food did they serve in prison?" Millie freezes, fork in hand, smile still halfway on her face. Andrew stares at Nina. Nina takes another bite. The bomb's already detonated. No need to explain. Millie says nothing, but her stomach drops straight through the floor. Because Nina didn't guess, she knows. Upstairs, Millie spirals, and we finally get the full story. She was 17. The boy tried to force him on her friend. Millie killed him. One moment of violence, 10 years behind bars, and a lifetime of silence since. She's never told anyone. But Nina knows. Of course she knows. Back downstairs, there's Nina, standing in the living room, holding a familiar canvas bag, the bag of white dresses, the same ones she gave Millie days ago, saying they don't fit me anymore. Nina lifts the bag like it's radioactive. "You've been stealing from me?" Whatever Millie says. Nope. Doesn't matter, because when a rich lady says the ex-con stole her laundry, people tend to believe the lady. Millie feels the blood drain from her face. One call to the cops and she's not the maid anymore. She's a headline. Then Andrew walks in, assesses the situation, bag, Millie, Nina's Oscar-worthy performance, then drops the bomb. How he doesn't love her anymore and she needs to get the hell out of his house. Mike dropped. Marriage ended. Millie's too stunned to move, but Nina's scrambling, crying, begging. Andrew is done. He's gone full divorce papers and lawyer's mode. Nina leaves that night. Millie's heart is thudding. Her future just did a 180 in stilettos. Andrew pours her a drink and says, "It's just us now." That night, they sleep together again. This time it's softer, safer, like she finally stepped into the life she was supposed to have. And then she wakes up in the attic, door locked, phone gone, 3 heavy books stacked beside her bed like some kind of psychological homework. And deep down, her gut whispers the one thing she really didn't want to hear: you got played. Just when you think you've solved the mystery, Nina gone, Andrew exposed, Millie betrayed, the story yanks the camera and whispers, "Let's rewind." Now we're in Nina's head, and it's not what we thought. She's not unstable. She's brilliant, and she's been playing a long game in high heels and housewife drag. Years ago, Nina was just another broke 20-something with a baby on the way and a one-night stand who disappeared faster than her birth control. She dropped out of college, desperate for any kind of paycheck, and scraped her way into a job at a corporate office. Her boss? Let's just say he was a nightmare. One day, he really let her have it, humiliating her in front of everyone, including Andrew Winchester, the CEO, the boss of her boss, the man in the tailored suit who sat silently in the room while she was torn apart. He didn't defend her. He just watched. And afterward, that's when he approached, smooth, sympathetic, like a wolf offering tissues. He felt sorry for her. He offered her a hot dog, then a ring, then the attic. It started small. Just a little root growth, nothing major, but to Andrew, it was sloppy, a sign she was forgetting her place. So he locked her in the attic, told her dyeing her hair was a privilege, and to really make the lesson stick, he made her pluck out 100 perfect strands, just like that, her first punishment, but not her last. Days later, she tried to push back, just a little, a whisper of rebellion. So Andrew escalated, he drugged her, drugged Cecilia, placed the baby in a tub of running water, then called the cops. When she came to, they told her she tried to drown her own daughter. Just like that, she was institutionalized, labeled delusional, dangerous. The attic became a psychiatric ward, and Andrew walked free as the poor, traumatized husband. Nina knew it wasn't true, but no one believed her because Andrew Winchester had money, charm, and a long list of people who owed him favors. Over the years, the attic became her private classroom of shame. No food, no lights, no clocks, just time to reflect on whatever disrespect she'd shown. Talk back, locked up, spend too much, locked up, use the wrong conditioner. You guessed it. And poor little Cecilia. She learned fast that when she misbehaved, it was her mother who disappeared for days. So she stopped misbehaving and stopped smiling too. Always wearing those horrible dresses because the bonus daddy dearest liked it. But Andrew didn't count on one thing. Enzo, the landscaper. He was the only one who believed her story. His sister had died in a marriage just like Nina's. Quiet, watchful, and nursing his own quiet rage because his sister died in a relationship just like this one. Together, they made a plan. If she couldn't leave, they'd burn the house down from the inside. They couldn't beat Andrew in court, so they'd beat him at his own game. All they needed was bait. Enter Millie Calloway, broke, isolated, desperate. Oh, and with a sealed criminal record. A girl who once went to prison for killing a boy who tried to assault her best friend. A girl who knows what it's like to be locked up for the right reason and still be punished. Nina picked her carefully, set the bait, played the villain, and waited for the trap to snap shut. Because Andrew loved saving broken women, just so he could break them again himself. But Millie was never just the maid. She was the loaded weapon Nina left on the table. And Andrew, he picked it up. So back to Millie. She's flat on her back in the attic, 3 fat books stacked on her stomach, like she's training for a very niche Olympic sport, misery lifting. Andrew sets the timer, calm, smiling. 3 hours. Don't drop them. If she twitches, timer resets. If she breathes too loud, timer resets. It's like a boot camp designed by Satan's personal life coach. But Andrew forgot one thing. Nina left pepper spray and gave Millie a key to the attic. The pepper spray is for payback. The key? For poetic justice. So when Andrew leans in, savoring his power trip, Millie blasts him with pepper spray. He stumbles, screaming, eyes on fire. She shoves him back, slips out the door, and click, locks it. With the same key Nina once used to escape. Congratulations, Andrew. Enjoy your new job title, CEO of the attic. For 6 glorious days, Millie lets him stew. Day 2, the begging starts. Day 4, the smell sets in. Day 6, the man who thought he controlled everything is reduced to a pile of sweat, stench, and a very ironic stack of books. When Nina returns, the mansion reeks of victory. And a crime scene. She opens the attic. Andrew's dead. Millie panics, convinced she's just earned a one-way ticket back to prison. He's dead. I killed him. Nina steadies her, calm as ever. No, you survived him. Millie panics, convinced she's doomed, but Nina finally took accountability and told Millie to run, that she will fix this. And so she does. The cops show up, and here's where karma does a mic drop. The detective on scene. His daughter once got engaged to Andrew. He takes one look around, sighs, and writes it up as an accident, case closed. At the funeral, though, comes the real kicker. Andrew's mother leans in, whispers to Nina, "They said he was missing 4 teeth. Then she smiles. Yeah, smiles. Turns out when Andrew was little, she used to yank out his teeth as discipline if he skipped brushing. And suddenly the puzzle fits. Andrew didn't just sprout out of nowhere as a sadist. He was groomed for it, raised in it, a monster handcrafted by his mom with a toothbrush and pliers. Well, one monster's dead, but monsters don't live alone. Millie doesn't look back. She runs. Nina said she'd fix it, and Millie believes her. So she disappears into the world again. Nina and Cecilia vanish too, off to California for a clean slate. A mother and daughter finally safe, finally unshackled from Andrew's ghost. Weeks later, Millie's sitting on another sofa in another pristine suburban living room, deja vu and designer upholstery. The woman across from her, Lisa, looks nervous. She keeps her eyes down, voice soft, question stilted, and when she pushes up her sleeve, Millie sees it. A bruise. Dark. Fingerprint-shaped. Millie doesn't need a full backstory. She's seen enough. Lisa glances toward the hallway like she's afraid someone might hear. Then she whispers, barely audible, "Can you help me?" Old Millie might have said something polite, something maid-like, something that wouldn't get her locked in another attic. But this Millie, she just smiles, calm, sharp, knowing. "Yes," she says, "I believe I can."